The Tale of Margaret Borkey White by Michael Regalado. Alright, biography. Margaret Borkey White was born on June 14th, 1904 in Bronx, New York, and she was an American photographer and documentary photographer. Here you could in the picture in the top left corner, you see her as a little girl. And just to give you an insight on what the area she grew up in was like, there you see the Bronx, a picture of the Bronx in the 1900s. She had graduated from Cornell University with a bachelor's degree of arts in 1927. One way that she was known was due to the fact of being one of the first ever foreigners to have ever been permitted to take photos of the Soviet industry. For context, she had started in her career in 1928, just a year before the ongoing Roaring Twenties ended. However, her career would continue on during the Great Depression. And here we see some of the photographs she's taken, right here in the bottom corner. Historical context. In Through Women's Eyes in American History with Documents, page 485, it mentions how, due to the Great Depression, that women not only did they face a greater likelihood of losing their jobs or farms, but they also had fewer resources to draw on. Based on this quote, it meant that back then, women were considered to be viewed as more disposable due to the fact that they had a higher chance of losing things compared to that of a man. Due to the state of the industry that had been in, economically speaking, it allowed Margaret to have some form of work and had allowed her to provide a glimpse at what the state of what was going on and distribute it widely, which proved to be influential. And just to get an idea, we have this famous photography right here showing the lady and her children just all gloomy and depressed. Anywho, politically speaking, during the times, the Soviets and the US had been allied during the time in order to take on the Nazis, and due to the relations at the time, this had allowed Margaret to enter the Soviet Union industry and get a glimpse of what they were going through. And to add to all this, she lived in a social time called social relativism. Just thought to add that right there. Activities speaking, being a photographer, she had achieved a number of documenting all sorts of things going on with the world. And the key event that's seen here pictured was that when black flood victims had been standing in front of a sign which declared world's highest standard of living, which had a white family in there, and we could see here the white family is all happy, and in the sign it says there's no way like the American way. She also photography at events that had been happening all across the world, such as child labor, which we see in this up corner picture right here in the bottom. And then we see fighting right here and so forth, these other stuff. Action. She challenged the prescribed gender roles by being pretty hardcore and accomplishing so much in her life that she took charge and did not fall into society's expectations and went off to pursue her passion. And she had been the only Western photographer to witness the German invasion of Moscow in 1941. And here we see her being the first ever woman permitted to travel on the company Air Corps crews on bombing missions. And here we see some of those from when she was in the Air Corps. And in 1945, she had also visited concentration camps in Germany as they were being liberated. And we see that right here, concentration camp. This is important considering that she took the charge in showing what was going on throughout the whole world and just what sorts of things were happening, like such as like the concentration camps, and in the previous slides we saw like all sorts of other things like such as the child labor and the others. Uh, my bad, I panicked a bit. And you legacy. Margaret Burke White is an influential figure who reminds us to never let anyone hold us back from pursuing our passions. Students today should study her due to the fact that not only did she break the gender norms, but also the fact that she was the first to do many things and had provided insight as to what parts of the world had been going through. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you all had a good day.